is going to be good this year, but going to be good for a while for the looks of things.
We got Savion Lewis, who leads the MAAC in assists and is fourth in the country in assists. And he's the young man with the basketball right now.
Opening tip, one back by Paul Otieno for the Bobcats. And early on, a stoppage as the shot clock never started. And so that's how we get things going here today.
What are you going to play the Elam inning to start off with?
First to two.
This young man with the basketball has done a great job. As I mentioned, leading the MAAC in assists, fourth in the country.
Now Lewis has set the single-season all-time assist record at Quinnipiac a couple of games ago. One-on-one with Latrell Reed. Lewis takes it to the rack and scores.
Wow, fantastic move. He's very good off the bounce, getting it to the basket, as well. So look for him to continue to do that this afternoon.
Quinnipiac, the #1 scoring offense in the MAAC, averaging 78 points per game. And their KenPom efficiency is second best in the conference. Here's Washington underneath, and he gets the bucket. They like to run fast, Quinnipiac does.
No question about it. Looking to push it up the floor, but Washington, he does what he does best. He already had the inside game with the athleticism. Now he's combining that with the perimeter game. As I mentioned, he's a matchup nightmare.
St. Peter's, the #1 defense in the MAAC. #2 in scoring defense, #1 in KenPom efficiency. Alexis Reyes, little fadeaway, no good. And the rebound secured by Washington.
As you mentioned, Joe, the Bobcats are first in the conference in scoring. They're 66 in the nation in scoring out of 340-something Division I teams, so that's efficient.
Randolph from the free throw line.
Tell you, he's a pleasant surprise this year. One of the top three-point shooters in the MAAC conference. Went to the mid-range game right there, Joe. Got that paint touch.
Now Randolph had a little bit of an off game on Thursday for St. Peter's down at Ryder, as did a few guys. As a foul whistled on the Amari Tice jump shot. Get it on Corey Washington.
And those are the kind of fouls you don't want to pick up early in the ball game. Got to be a little bit smarter than that. Sometimes you just get close out, get your hands up in his face. He's too important to get himself in foul trouble right away.
The Peacocks down in Lawrenceville on Thursday. It was a very physical game, very emotional game, a lot of fouling. Even a flagrant foul that ejected a Ryder player, Mervyn James, at one point. Tice hits the first free throw, and St. Peter's plays a very emotional style of basketball, and they get under opponents' skin.
They want to make the game ugly. They want to make the game ugly and make it one of those type of games. That was their type of game on Thursday. Despite the loss, they only shot 29% from three, 30% from the floor. So you have those kind of shooting woes. It's not going to bode well for you, as you see the Bobcats trying to trap.
Reed feeds Washington, and he's going to get called. Wow, sorry. I thought they were going to get him for steps, but actually foul called against Quinnipiac. Pardon.
No question about it, partner. He did travel. The officials missed that call as well. We look at Bashir Mason. Yes.
Corey Washington this time fouled again. It's by Amari Tice after Otieno got him the first time. And we'll send Washington to the line for two.
As I told Coach Mason, I said, I'm doing the game today. He said, really? I said, yeah, I'm coming from out of town to do the game. I said, let's see who's going to have the best handkerchief.
I think he wins.
Oh, no question about it. No question about it.
Hey, you don't want to get in a fashion battle with Bashir Mason, because he will beat you every time as Washington hits his first free throw. And that's not you, Darryl Jacobs. That's you generally. That's you, everyone.
But no question about it. This young man is 6 in the MAAC in free throw shooting 83%.
Missed the second. Otieno gets the carom for the Bobcats.
You're looking at a team, the Bobcats, who can really score the basketball, and you're looking at a team in the Peacocks who can really defend the basketball.
Go against the zone, find the corner three for Alexis Reyes.
It's a nice shot. That's good ball movement. That's an assist by Savion Lewis, as I mentioned. First in the MAAC, fourth in the country in that category, and ninth in assist turnover ratio in the country.
Reyes transfer out of East Carolina. He played his freshman season. Now in his second year in Quinnipiac. Washington, a little short. And it's Lewis who gets the rebound. Xavier Lewis, a real triple-double threat. Oh, my goodness. Amari Tice throws it down.
That sounds like dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. Fantastic break led by Xavier Lewis, getting it up the floor. Great attack by Tice. It's the dunk right here.
Just a sophomore, Amari Tice. What a jam.
I tell you, he's one of the best young players in the MAAC conference.
Reed no good, so got the rebound but was on the line.
Let me tell you, these two teams met early in the year at 84-73 victory for Quinnipiac. And the Bobcats shot 58% from the floor, Joe, against the St. Peter team. 50% from three and 80% from the foul line. Both teams went to the foul line 30 times. But the Bobcats were 24 for 30 and the Peacocks was only 18 for 30. And that was the difference in the ball game.
Here's Balanc. Quiet thus far, looks to drive, and so gets the rebound. Ahead for Marcus Randolph, who hung in the air, and then a foul, or are they going to call a goaltend here on the block? No, just going to be a foul.
Just going to be a common foul. Looked like a good block to me. Watch the transition.
Yeah, that is a good block.
That's a
just
great
block
right there. That's a fantastic block right there. Randolph tried to attack the basket, and Clark was there for the offensive rebound.
So, we've alluded to it already, Darryl. Quinnipiac coming into today, one-game lead over Fairfields.
Don't confuse the
Owens. A win for them, and they are the #1 seed in the MAAC tournament. They win the MAAC regular season. I know in your coaching career, you've had some situations like this where, all right, you know as a team, you're either going to be the one or the two, so you're in good positioning and set up well. But obviously you want to go into the tournament with a win on a high note to be able to say we won the conference outright by ourselves. How are you, if you're Tom Pecora, approaching this game as a coach knowing we got to stay healthy for the conference tournament, but we do have a lot to play for today?
You know what? When you control your own destiny, that's the great thing of being about it. If they win this game, they win the regular season championship outright. So they control their own destiny. It's tougher when you got to win and rely on somebody else to beat somebody as well. So you're pretty relaxed. I've been in these situations as a coach, as you mentioned, going into the last game of the year, having to win it, and we happen to win that particular game. You see the pass right there by Lewis to Ortino. Great move inside. But you want to be in these situations where you're playing for the one regular season championship or even the 2 spot.
Shot was a little short. Here's Lewis for another rebound. He's had his fingerprints all over this one so far. Balanc off on a long 2. Otieno with the offensive rebound. Would you manage players' minutes any differently in a game like this if you're Quinnipiac?
No.
Or St. Peter's for that matter?
You can see another shot right there, knocking it down from the corner is Favors. No, I wouldn't manage my players' minutes. I would keep things just status quo. And it depends on the situation. We want to win the regular season championship. Offensive foul, good call by the official. You want to win the regular season championship, so this is important. And this is for the #1 seed. If you lose this game and Fairfield win, now you're in a tie. Now you got to go with the opponent's differential. So you don't want to be in that situation.
Well, Quinnipiac taking care of business through the first 4.5 minutes, up by 7 on St. Peter's.
BK Royal Crispy Wraps. Eat it with the meal or have it as a snack. Only $2.99. It's a hunger hack and it fits in one hand. And BK, have it your way.
It's always nice to have someone lend a hand. That's why we started Tractor Supply 85 years ago. No matter what you're starting, the team members at Tractor Supply are happy to pitch in, because that's what neighbors do. Tractor Supply, for life out here.
Quinnipiac with an early 7-point lead over St. Peter's. Final regular season game of the 23-24 season. Hard to believe we're there already. I'm Joe Basile. He's Daryl Jacobs.
Telling me we're in March? We're in March now?
We are.
Okay.
Early on, Quinnipiac taking care of their Darryl Dimesdale.
Well, let's talk about the Bobcats. They need the paint touches. They scored 42 of their 84 points in their first meeting in the paint, Joe, and they got to take care of the basketball. They turned the basketball over 16 times, which led to 24 St. Peter's points. On the other side, the Peacocks got to find some consistency on offense. They got to avoid them scoring drops. They only shooting 39% on the season, and they must defend the paint. As I mentioned, they gave up 42 points to the Bobcats in their first meeting.
So far, Quinnipiac 5 of 8 from the floor to start the game, and 3 assists for Savion Lewis. One more assist for him. He'll be at 400 for his career. There's a nice block from behind.
Let's see what the Peacocks do in transition.
Open look. There's Randolph.
Not going to get a better look than that. That's a great pass by Reed. Randolph has got to knock those open looks down.
Lewis with a lane to drive, and Armani Ziegler comes up with the block.
Great block by Ziegler, moving his feet.
Reed stops, pops, no good. Bobcats looking to push the tempo. Pretty pass to Balanc and one.
Wow, that's a fantastic move right there. And the Bobcats are getting out in transition. Any missed baskets right now by the Peacock. The Bobcats are really getting out in transition. That's a great pass by Lewis. Now watch a block. That's a great finish. And that's what it's all about. They're going to need that kind of physicality going into the conference tournament. And as you know, Joe, anytime you're coming down to the end of the season, the officials start to let you play like it's the conference tournament. But next week is going to be even more physical. They're going to need that from him.
Got it. Boardwalk call in Atlantic City. Going to be a lot of fun. MAAC Madness is back.
MAAC Madness is back. That's what it's all about. This time of year is so exciting. Me doing games all around the country and watching the different conferences. But this is home for me. It's nothing like the MAAC conference. Love coming back home. Love being on the game with you, Joe. And the wonderful fans here.
Love having you back east, Daryl.
You ain't gonna get rid of
that. Get out of that high altitude in Colorado. Randolph.
Be conscious of the shot clock here.
Ziegler. Poked away by Balanc. Boy, Bobcats really coming out clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, they know what's at stake here. They know if they win this game, they're the regular season champions. They ain't not going to allow anybody else to try to help them. They're in control of their own destiny.
Otieno. Lefty hook shot is good. That was a neat move by the senior from Nairobi, Kenya.
That's a big-time move, Joe. Grab, dribble, shot it over his right shoulder, his left hand. And that's that paint touch.
Clark trying to go baseline. Roberts the miss. Out for a Randolph three-pointer that rims out, but Ziegler cleans up the garbage.
And that's what you got to do. You're looking at the #1 team in the MAAC in offensive rebounding and among the nation leaders in that category. So that's something they're going to have to do. If they're not shooting the basketball well, they got to get to the offensive glass. Otieno
attacking. Roberts with the block.
As I mentioned, officials really letting them play.
Washington to the rim.
That's a great move by Washington. Not allow him to get back and set up on defense. He took advantage of his mismatch.
Back and forth we go. Still an 8-point lead, though, for the Bobcats. This is Doug Young, who really changed the complexion of their game on Thursday against Marist. Otieno gets the shooter's touch. Early on, the Red Foxes came out strong. Tom Pecora sent Doug Young in, and he completely changed the way the first half went, helping Quinnipiac to a lead at halftime over the Red Foxes.
And that's exactly what Coach Pecora said to me. Put him in the game, he changed the whole complexity of the game. But Otieno is second in the MAAC in free throw shooting.
Ziegler for three. He's got 5 off the bench.
And that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to really score the basketball this afternoon. And they got to get some stops. They didn't do a good job in their first meeting against the Bobcats getting stops.
They'll call it dead for a foul down on the floor. Looks like that's going to be on Armani Ziegler and be his second. And so he has to come off. Amari Tice, by the way, has 2 fouls for Quinnipiac, so he's out for the next long time.
As you mentioned, Young came in the game against Marist, the last game out, really did a good job. So they have some depth on their bench as well as the Peacocks does as well. And they're going to need that going into the conference tournament.
Both coaches making some subs. Latrell Reed back on for St. Peter's. Michael Hogan for the first time. And Richie Springs now out there for Quinnipiac. Sets the screen for Balanc 3 that got blocked. Follow didn't go for Young. And then a foul on Balanc.
He got
trying to get up on Roy Clark, and that'll send us to a timeout. Down on the floor, St. Peter's still trailing by 7 to Quinnipiac as these two trading blows here in Jersey City this afternoon.
The MAAC Student Athlete Advisory Committee.
Together, we use our voices to influence the needs of student athletes.
Driving awareness for causes near to us, like gender equity, social justice, and suicide prevention.
We strive to make an impact at our institution and local community.
Though our mascots and colors are different, our mission brings us together in unity.
We strive to create an impact at our institutions and surrounding communities.
Together we are MAAC.
At Quinnipiac, we know success doesn't just happen. It takes purpose, one that's fueled with a relentless determination. We are the ambitious, those motivated to propel passions into meaningful professions, those who yearn to be part of a community where everyone is welcome to thrive. Immersive academics, lifelong friendships, world-class athletics. You bring the ambition, together we'll unleash it. Quinnipiac University, ambition unleashed.
In March 2022, St. Peter's University lifted up the world and left it wanting more.
The world needs more peacocks.
We look like the world and feel like home. And our professors are peacocks too. This is hands-on first-person learning. It's an education that's the total package. And we're much more than the sixth borough. When peacocks fly, we lift up everybody.
You can be a peacock too.
Well, St. Peter is still trailing Quinnipiac 21-14 at the 12-minute mark in the first half alongside Coach Darryl Jacobs, Joe Vasile, and Darryl. What's really stood out to you about these first 8 minutes today?
Well, points in the paint, as I mentioned. Quinnipiac scored 42 of their 84 in the first matchup. They lead that category 12-8 right now. We look at some highlights there. Assists 5-1 in favor of Quinnipiac. And field goal percentage, Joe, is mirroring their first matchup right now. Quinnipiac is shooting 53% from the floor, 66% from the three-point line, compared to St. Peter's 36%, 33% from the three-point line.
And we mentioned about how good of an offense Quinnipiac has and has had all season. From what we've seen here today, why is that? What is it about Quinnipiac's offense that makes them so good?
Well, the point guard, Simeon Lewis, he really directs them. He reads the floor well. He gets out in transition. But what goes unnoticed about them, as you can see, Roy Clark knocking down a mid-range shot, but they can defend very well as well. So anytime you got a team that can defend very well on both sides of the basketball, and defense sometimes gets your offense going because they create a lot of turnovers as well, and that contributes to their offensive output.
This is Richie Springs trying to back down Stephon Roberts, and Roberts going to have a foul called on him. You know, it's interesting in talking with those around the Quinnipiac program, they said exactly that, Darryl. It was, you know, they really rely, especially on the road, on their defense showing up to help them transition into offense and get those kind of looks that they want.
And when you got that combination, a team that shoots the basketball well, first in the MAAC, 66th in the country. And they're actually shooting close to 45%, 44%. As you can see, that's another paint touch right there. And the Peacock's going to have to do a much better job. This seems like they might be the only team in the conference that really gets them into a situation where they have problems defending.
Well, St. Peter's this year allowing just 63 points per game to their opponents. But you look at the first matchup with Quinnipiac running up into the 80s on them. That's something that Seton Hall couldn't do. That's something that Rutgers couldn't do. That's something that no other team that St. Peter's has played this year has been able to do, and that's score 80 or more points on.
And you hit it right on the head. It's about physicality, so they're going to have to be real physical this afternoon. As you see Lewis taking advantage of the mismatch with the crossover, knocking down the mid-range. What a fantastic player he is.
Already 4 points for Savion Lewis, 2 rebounds, 5 assists for him in the game. Not even 10 minutes gone.
As I mentioned, he's 4th in the country, averaging a little bit over 7 a game, so he might eclipse that this afternoon.
Clark's had the hot hand last couple trips. Gives it up to Michael Hogue, who couldn't get it. Reyes fought for the rebound.
And you got to make those high percentage shots inside, because they might be few and far between against this Bobcat basketball team.
Springs one-on-one with Reed, and so came over for the block.
One of the best in the MAAC at doing that.
Already the 5th block shot for St. Peter's today. A foul on the other end against the Bobcats, but boy, the interior defense for the Peacocks has been on point.
Already 5 blocks. They came in averaging close to 4. They're 4th in the MAAC. They already got to see that, and they're going to have more of that this afternoon, especially if you want to keep the Bobcats from scoring the basketball if they get by the defender attacking the paint.
Well, J.J. Riggins is onto the court now for Quinnipiac, number 23 in blue. Amari Tice, leading post player for the Bobcats, picked up 2 fouls after just a couple of minutes on the court, and so it's been almost a non-factor in the first, and St. Peter's starting to take advantage of that now.
No question about it. As you can see, Randolph attacking the basket, good 3-point shooter. He mixed his game up and got to the rim right there, and that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to get out in transition, Joe, and get some early offense, or look to attack the basket and create shots from one another.
Doug Young on the kick out to Reyes. Lost it. So at the steal, up ahead for Latrell Reed around Vavers. Couldn't get it, but a foul.
And that's what you got to do. You got to create turnovers. That's going to lead to transition baskets for you. As I mentioned in their first meeting, they turned the Bobcats over 16 times. That led to 24 transition baskets. As you can see, Reed almost coming up with a chance for the old-fashioned 3-point play.
Instead, he'll go to the line for 2 after hitting the deck hard. Where Latrell Reed on his senior night got a huge ovation when he was announced.
Brought the whole city of Willingboro out here, it seemed like, with him as well.
Yeah, certainly was. There were a ton of people here for Latrell.
Well, that tells you the kind of support he has. The young man has been a fantastic player here. One of the most physical guards in the country. I do a lot of games around the country. He's one of the most physical guards and one of the most talented guards. And if you're starting a basketball team, you need a player like this young man in your program, because he's willing to do the dirty work and he's not scared to stick his nose in there.
Reed makes the second. That's his first point today. Lead down to 4. Quinnipiac led by a dozen at one point.
And this might be a precursor to the MAAC championship game.
I don't think it would surprise many people. Riggins backing down Michael Hogue. Good shoulder fake and a move for Riggins.
Good move for Riggins. Took his time. What he did, any young player that's post play, he checked for information and found an open area.
Lewis gets the miss off the Clark 3-pointer. I mean, Riggins, redshirt senior out of Philadelphia, played at Emotep Charter, where he won 3 straight state championships. That is just an amazing program down in the Philly Public League. Played really high-level basketball.
I recruited a lot of players from that particular school, as you mentioned. Fantastic program down there, one of the tops in the country. Every year letting out high major players in that particular program. And as you mentioned, won 3 state championships down there, and that's one of the best basketball cities in the country. Philadelphia.
Oh, between the Public League, the Philly Catholic League, and the Interac, there's there's just some really excellent basketball down there. As a foul, as Babers didn't get the space to land. They're going to get Roy Clark. And it's going to be foul shots for the Bobcats.
And if we get a chance to go to replay, we'll see. Right on cue. Let's see, allows him some space to come down. Couldn't really see it there. Call it a non-shooting foul.
So yeah, it was away from the ball. Harden. Babers gets the bucket off the quick inbound.
It's a nice move by Babers.
3, Randolph, book it.
And that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to get out in transition because they've been struggling scoring in the half court all season long. They can get out in transition, get some easy baskets. They're going to keep themselves in the ball game. Tighten up on that defense. Don't allow no paint touches.
Doug Young on the drive, floater, good.
And that's a paint touch right there. I said they can't allow the paint touches. But what makes them so hard to defend, Joe, they got shooters around them, so you got to stay home on the shooters. So you got to kind of pick your poison with the Bobcats.
It's a team that can hurt you in so many different ways. Washington, mid-range J, speaking of someone who can hurt you in a lot of ways.
No question about it. Good job by Washington, reading the defense. Had some space, turned around and shot over the smaller defender. That's something he couldn't do last year.
Riggins on the drive, gets around Washington for the bucket.
That's a great pass by Young.
Washington lost it. Young out in front, but had no help. It's good transition D.
Might have got away with a travel right there.
And then a foul on St. Peter's.
That's a frustration foul right there. No question the Bobcats might have got away with a travel there. The official didn't call it. You can't get frustrated if you look at Bashir Mason.
Second foul on Roy Clark. That'll send Quinnipiac into the bonus. So 1-1 coming up when we return here to Jersey City. Bobcats in front by 7.
BK Royal Crispy Wraps. Eat it with the meal or have it as a snack. Only $2.99. It's a hunger hack and it fits in one hand. And BK, have it your way.
Roll up to Easter with fast and easy drive up.
What you wanna see? Let's go. Doing it so naturally. Gonna be a fantasy. Easy like 1, 2, 3. Yes, easy like.
Drive up is fast, easy, and always free. Only at Target.
Hey, it's me, your future you.
You made bad money moves.
So you work at 102.
You're late.
Don't make your future you. Hey, you.
Compare and find top financial products today. NerdWallet.
Well, St. Peter is trailing Quinnipiac by 7 alongside Coach Harold Jacobs. Joe Vasile with you here today. Bobcats got out to a quick lead. They've just been able to maintain despite a couple of runs for the Peacocks. But so far, some nice shooting, and Quinnipiac's bench showing up in a big way.
No question about it. I was going to mention that. Right now, Quinnipiac leads 11-5. That's going to be crucial when you go into conference tournament play. If you look at some of the highlights, that's a fantastic move right there by Riggins. If you look at Bashir Mason, but your bench, your depth is going to be key to your success, particularly if somebody gets in foul trouble. Both these teams are very deep, and both these teams are very capable. As you mentioned, Coach Pecor mentioned Young coming off the bench against Marist doing a good job as well. And the Peacocks going to need some guys coming off the bench as well to help them along the way, particularly in the scoring category.
Well, at the line shooting 1-1, it's Savion Lewis, 72% from the free throw line this season. Mr. Basketball in the state of New York back in 2018 out of Half Hollow Hills East High School.
Another great program.
Not to be confused with Half Hollow Hills West, where Brent Bland for St. Peter's went.
You talk about New York City, the outer boroughs, anywhere around New York is going to be great basketball. As I mentioned, this young man is first in the MAAC in assists and fourth in the country and ninth in assist to turnover ratio. As you look at the Bobcats in the 2-3 zone, so you're going to have to get something along the baseline. I was getting ready to say that right on cue. And that's Corey Washington moving along the baseline. Good find by Reed.
Balanc in the corner for Quinnipiac.
See the Peacocks in a 1-3-1. Got to run a 2-1-2 set. And you probably got to try to flash somebody to the high post to get some penetration.
Balanc for three, knocks it down for the wing.
I'll tell you, he's a three-level scorer. Second in the MAAC in scoring at 18 a ball game. He's very capable. Can't leave him open. Can't give him an inch of daylight.
Well, Matt Balanc came into today over 1,600 career points, 10th all-time in scoring at Quinnipiac.
Another great pass right there inside.
So not able to finish. Otieno gets the miss. By the way, Amari Tice is back out with 2 fouls for the Bobcats. Knocked away from Lewis to a Balanc corner 3 from Reyes.
You're going to see Coach Mason take a timeout. That's great ball movement. Everything is predicated on the penetration into the lane. You can't allow him to get paint touches. And this young man is very explosive. Balanc. And it's a great pass, deflection. St. Peter's didn't come up with the basketball, was able to kick it to a wide open block in the corner.
Well, the Bobcats, knowing they need a win to win the MAAC championship outright, it would be the first time since joining the MAAC in 2013 that they've won the conference in men's basketball. It'll be their first regular season championship since 2009-2010 when they were in the NEC. And it's been a long time coming for this Bobcats team. They've been close a few times, but this has just been a really special year. And you can just tell the way they've come out today. They're playing with a lot of pride and a lot of desire to seal this deal today.
They have a great roster. And when Coach Pecor took over the program, that even more elevated the program. That was icing on the cake. A proven winner. Somebody that's been to the NCAA tournament. Somebody that understands today's game as well, and relating to the players is so important.
Washington, right elbow J is good.
And you got to flash someone to the middle against that 3-2 zone now that the Bobcats is having. You keep flashing someone to the middle, draw someone up, and look along the baseline, or kick it to the high post, play inside-out game.
Balanc drives through a wild pass that's taken away by Washington. Couldn't get the finish, but a foul on Balanc.
And that's one thing the Peacocks did in their first meeting. They turned the Bobcats over 16 times, and of the 73 points, 24 came off turnovers. Watch Washington come up with the basketball here, and that's what you want to do. Get out in transition and try to get you some easy points on the board.
Matt Balanc coming right in your living room, too. Or car, or wherever you're watching this.
Or on your phone.
Yeah.
Washington knocks down the first free throw. Bashir Mason, excellent job at Wagner College before coming over here. A couple of regular season championship, postseason tournament, NIT bid, and a Jersey City native. Nothing like being at home coaching a university.
Well, it's a school that, since the Elite Eight run in 22 has seen a much larger profile. This year, the largest enrollment at St. Peter's in 25 years, and a lot of that on the back of that run and the notoriety for this school. And you can really see the difference 2 years on. The recruiting level has stayed up with what caliber of player Bashir Mason has been able to recruit to St. Peter's. to keep that level of success going. And it's been a great thing for the university overall. And, you know, Bosch has been a really good representative of that kind of moving forward into this era for the Peacocks.
No question about it. Let's give Rochelle Paul, the former AD here, who hired Shaneen Holloway, who got this train rolling. You can see Bobcats come up with the basketball. Looked like it might be a foul call on the Peacocks.
Yeah, St. Peter's was looking for a tie-up. End up calling a foul.
Watch the tie-up here.
Roberts. So that's the second foul on Stephon Roberts. So 1-1 coming up the other way for Paul Otieno.
And as I mentioned, the former AD here, Rochelle Paul, got the ball rolling behind Shaneen Holloway, who took the program to a whole nother level. And also those former players, some of them are not here anymore, to help elevate this program to a whole different level. Great administration here. Great job, student athletes. As you mentioned, enrollment goes up. Anytime you win, Joe, you get to the Elite Eight, you knew enrollment was going to go up as well. And so is the annual giving and fundraising and all that stuff.
Latrell Reed, one of the two remaining guys who saw minutes in that Elite Eight run. He and Omar Dahame both celebrating their senior day today, as is Roy Clark, who joined the program this year from St. Francis, Brooklyn. Brent Bland, Mohamed Sow were both there as redshirt freshmen that year. Randolph, no good. And the rebound secured off the ground by Vavers. But that's it. It's just 4 guys left from that team.
And that's not uncommon today.
Otieno no good at the rim. Here comes Bland running the break. He's blocked by Otieno.
Got to get into the body contact. Good secondary defender by Tano.
Roberts fouled on his way back up.
And that's the kind of basketball you want to play. You got to be persistent. Even though you're missing shots, getting your shot blocked. But you got to get on the offensive glass. That's going to be the key to them getting back in this ball game.
That's a big part of what St. Peter's does. It's 2 free throws for Stephon Roberts on the other side of this timeout. Bobcats still up by 9 over the Peacocks.
At Quinnipiac, we know success doesn't just happen. It takes purpose, one that's fueled with a relentless determination. We are the ambitious, those motivated to propel passions into meaningful professions, those who yearn to be part of a community where everyone is welcome to thrive. Immersive academics, lifelong friendships, world-class athletics. You bring the ambition, together we'll unleash it. Quinnipiac University, ambition unleashed.
In March 2022, St. Peter's University lifted up the world and left it wanting more.
The world needs more peacocks.
We look like the world and feel like home. And our professors are peacocks too. This is hands-on first-person learning. It's an education that's the total package. And we're much more than the sixth borough. When peacocks fly, we lift up everybody.
You can be a peacock too.
Quinnipiac in front by 9 over St. Peter's. They've been scoreless, though, for about the last 2 minutes. Peacocks trying to chip their way a little bit closer with free throws coming up as we return to action alongside Coach Darrell Jacobs. Joe Vasile with you in Jersey City. We've mentioned today's senior day a couple of times for the Peacocks. Before the game, Latrell Reed, Omar Dahame, and Roy Clark all honored. There you see Dahame on the left, hasn't played since the Elite Eight game against North Carolina in 2022. But Reed and Clark have been huge on-court contributors to the team this year. And frankly, I think Omar Dahame's contributions can really be summed up by what we saw when he went out to receive his jersey and get his picture taken. The entire St. Peter's team went out to be part of the picture with Omar Dahame, and that just shows you how beloved he is by his teammates up and down the roster. Not a soul who doesn't like him.
It's unfortunate the young man has had a lot of injuries, hasn't played since that Elite Eight game, but it tells you the value, and it tells you the type of atmosphere that Coach Holloway started and Bashir Mason also has instituted here. It's a family, and that's what it's all about, being a family. And these are relationships you're going to remember for the rest of your life. As I would tell my players, you're going to remember these relationships for the rest of your life, and hopefully you guys will continue to be teammates outside of life, also helping one another for the rest of your lives.
I mean, you were a two-sport athlete back in college, Darryl. I'm sure you still have teammates that you played with in both sports that you talk to.
Absolutely, and that's the beauty of being a two-sport athlete back then, you know, as well. I have a lot of teammates, as well as you can see, a foul by Young against Ziegler in the backcourt.
And that's the ninth foul on Quinnipiac in a half, and so 1-1 for the Peacocks. And Ziegler is, can't do that.
Trying to sneak in there, a good call by the official, you know, as well. But, you know, having those relationships for the rest of your life is so important. It transcends beyond on the court. You know, as you get older, especially when they get out, my particular age, you're still a young man yourself, you begin to cherish the relationship more and those memories more. And as I will tell the players, don't take this time for granted. Don't think you're going to live forever. Don't take these times for granted, as I mentioned, and value these relationships with people, not just with your teammates, but with the administration, students, your students, your colleagues, your students that you go to school with as well. So that's important.
Well, Darryl, I appreciate it. I feel like I'm not that much of a young man. I found my first gray hair this week. And then the same day got a letter from Medicare. So those are two things that made me feel really old.
I graduated from college in '87. You 2014. So, you know,
fair enough.
You do the math.
Fair enough.
27-year difference as well.
Oh, boy. 7-point lead for the Bobcats. They've maintained about that much for the entire first half.
Peacock's got to keep them out of lane. It's so hard to keep them off the bounce, especially Lewis.
8 to shoot. Driving his way in. Alexis Reyes couldn't get it. Didn't hit rim. It's going to stay with Quinnipiac, but just 4 to shoot.
Well, let's look at the replay. It may have went off the Bobcats, but we'll see. Let's see right here. Good no call by the officials. Wow, might have went off the Bobcats. It looks like that. I think the official's going to review this. Again, if we get another angle, particularly under the basket, Quinnipiac take a 30-second timeout.
Yeah, because they realize they've only got 4 seconds to shoot, so they got to get something up quick. They're not going to go and look at this, at least not at this juncture.
But it could have went off the Quinnipiac player. The Peacock player was inside, but the Bobcats might have touched it last. Let's see right here. This is a good angle. Good no call by the official. And let's watch what's hard to see from that angle.
What do you think?
The other angle under the basket.
Well, here we go. Oh, you know what? I think that's a good call. I think that is off Brent Bland's hand.
Let's see.
Maybe?
Yeah,
no.
Let's see. Let's see.
Whose hand is that?
Let's see.
Play a game.
No, it don't look like it touched. It might not have touched. It might not have touched the Bobcats play. It looked like it went off Bland hand, so they might have got the call correct there.
There was three hands all in there trying to figure it all out.
Well, this is why we over here.
Yeah.
This ain't like Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate, but this is why we over here. Good job by the officials.
Reyes up on Randolph, gets the tough two.
And this time he was able to make the shot inside, concentrated. Before on the drive to the basket, he absorbed the contact, didn't make it. This time he really gathered himself and finished at the rim.
Reed trying to back down on Lewis. Kelly came over to help. Out for a Randolph three, and he knocks it down. That's a big shot from Marcus Randolph, who's up to 10.
One of the top three-point shooters in the MAAC, and the best on the team, shooting 40% this year.
That was a big three for St. Peter's, their third of the first half. Gets them within 6. Otieno with Washington on him. Tough move by Otieno, the big, strong senior forward.
That's a strong man move right there. Corey Washington at a disadvantage.
Reed backing down on Lewis. Hogue lost it. And here come the Bobcats. Lewis driving, no good. Bland gets the rebound, throws it off of Quinnipiac, and it'll be St. Peter's basketball.
Good job by the official right there, getting the call correct. Let's look at Brashear Mason. This is up and down asking, but the physicality of the basketball game, as you see, good no call right there by the official for Lewis. And let's see what happens here. Correct call by the official going off the Quinnipiac player. Let's see what the Peacocks do right here. See if they can get some paint touches. And let's see if they can get Randolph open again. And they're going to double Reed every time he tries to post up Lewis.
Got him spread out that time. The double never came. And the shot didn't go. It'll stay with St. Peter.
That's a good job by Reed, not allowing the double team to come. Just didn't gather himself with the footwork to get the shot off in a motion that was going to be able to knock it down. And if you post deep, Joe, it makes the double team harder to come. If you got a crab dribble, you give it time to come. So he's just got to post a little deeper.
Randolph. Elbow J, didn't get it. Loose on the ground for the rebound. Washington comes out with it. Gets the bucket and one.
And that's tough basketball. Those 50-50 balls you got to come up with. Not only come up with them, Joe, but you got to be able to finish inside. Let's watch the time right here. Watch Randolph on the shot. Good defense by the Bobcats. Scramble for the basketball right there. Washington comes up with it and gets hit on the arm right there. Able to finish. A chance for the old-fashioned three-point play. Big basket for the Peacocks.
So Washington with 21 points. Wow, I just had to double take to make sure that was right. Unbelievable first half for Washington.
And he told me he was going to show up big today, and he really is showing up big. Fantastic effort by the young man. And as I mentioned in the spotlight, they're going to need a big game from him, and he's getting it right now.
Oh, just like that, look at this score. 5-point lead for Quinnipiac, and both teams in the 40s in the first half. Vavers no good. Bland gets the rebound. Here come the Peacocks.
And you got to take advantage of these numbers.
Reed driving, has it rejected.
It's a great block.
2 players down on both sides, including Otieno without a shoe for Quinnipiac.
And
Reed gets up, Vavers for 3, sinks it.
And that's Reed lost his shoe, and Otieno is limping. The official's going to give him time for Reed to put on his shoe, came out of his shoe. That's how hard this basketball game is this afternoon. The physicality is unbelievable. And Brashear Mason is not happy with the officials. Right now it's an 8-point deficit with 48 seconds left.
Just another MAAC basketball game, right?
No, it's March Madness, and that's what happens all around the country. The physicality, the play, the sense of urgency. As we mentioned, Quinnipiac, if they win today, they win the regular season championship outright, have a #1 seed. Both teams got a first-round bye. And what the Peacocks want to try to win is stay in that #3 position. If they lose, they can drop to #5. And you possibly don't want to do that. You want to get a higher seed as possible.
Now, we'll get into some of those scenarios more as we get into the second half. Right now, there's only 2 other games going on in the MAAC. Siena and Iona, and Niagara and Marist. And there's 2 games later on, including the Fairfield Mount St. Mary's game that could be consequential for Quinnipiac, or it could not be, depending on what happens here. Washington short on the 3-pointer.
Yeah, that's a tough shot right there. But as you mentioned, Fairfield is 1 game behind the Bobcats. So this is important that Quinnipiac wins this game today and win it outright. If they lose to St. Peter's and Fairfield win, well, we got another scenario that we could talk about in the second half.
Well, the scenario is Fairfield's the 1 seed because they have got the tiebreaker with Quinnipiac with all the splits where it gets to the common opponents. Fairfield wins that one out. Lewis short. And that'll do it for the first half.
And subsequently, the Bobcats went on a little run to end the half, which is now this 8-point lead.
Well, this is a Quinnipiac team that is experienced. We talked about Lewis and Balanc a lot today. Both guys in their 6th year at Quinnipiac. They came in as freshmen in 18-19 and redshirted, and then got the COVID year that has allowed them to continue to play this year. There's probably not a lot of other programs that have two guys who have been there for 6 years in this country. The age of the transfer portal and everything else, it's going to go the other way. And I mean, that's just a testament to Baker Dunleavy, previous head coach, Tom Pecora, and really the entire administration at Quinnipiac for creating an environment and a culture. The kids are staying there for half a dozen years.
And you know what? You have a chance to put your imprint on the program as well. Trying to be the change agent, trying to set the tone. And that speaks in volumes for the young men, but also the administration, and particularly Baker Dunleavy.
Washington driving in, has his shot blocked. It goes out of bounds. And it's going to stay with St. Peter's. And of course, Dunleavy, the head coach at Quinnipiac up until the end of last year when he left to become the GM for Villanova men's basketball, a new position.
I tell you, all kind of positions are coming out in basketball, particularly like the NBA does as well. So you've got to be conscious of the shot clock right here.
When you were coaching, would you have liked to have kind of a GM role if you were coaching in a program that had the resources these days to kind of have that to help manage all the NIL stuff, the recruiting operations side of things?
Well, that's exactly why it's a GM role in college basketball, because now you got the NIL. When I was coaching, I didn't need a GM. I was the GM and the agent and everything like that. But you have a different culture today. You got to have a GM, because now with these players, when you're recruiting them, they're talking about NIL money. They're talking about the name, image, and license, trying to monetize their brand as well. It's a totally different culture has changed. And Baker Dunleavy going over to take that position as a GM is a huge position, and you're going to see a lot of Power 5 schools or big conference schools going to adopt that model.
Second for Washington, rims out, so he's got 20. Balanc left it short, but he was fouled.
Yeah, that's a good call by the official. He did get hit on his arm as well. And the Peacocks going to have to make every shot opportunity they can, especially high percentage shot, as you look at Balanc getting out in transition and gets fouled by Washington.
So Balanc to the line to shoot two. He is a great free throw shooter. Second in the conference this year at 87%.
And that's Yo Ming Lai. We look at Coach Pecora, someone I've known for over 20 years in this profession.
It's the second, so 2 for 2 from Balanc. Tom Pecora's resume is so impressive. He was at Long Island Lutheran to start his coaching career, Nassau Community College, then Division III Farmingdale State, and then UNLV in 92-93. Loyola Marymount, and then many years at Hofstra as an assistant under Jay Wright before taking over that program.
No question about it. He knows the game better than anybody in the country, and that's why this team is where they at today.
Oh yeah, that is a tough foul that goes against Marcus Randolph.
And that's the Bobcats getting out in transition, as I mentioned. That's how they start off the game. And this is Lewis, once again, the head of the snake, getting it out in transition. And you can see the foul. He got fouled a couple of times in transition.
And so that'll send Amari Tice to the free throw line for a pair. He's 79% this year. Transfer from Wofford College down in South Carolina.
Sophomore, nice looking young player. As again, you see another picture of Tom Pecora, one of the best coaches in the country of all time.
Tice was the guy they brought in, and weren't quite sure he was going to be the player that he is this year, averaging 13 and 7. But after a couple weeks of having him there during the summer, the staff knew they had someone special in Amari Tice.
But not only that, a lot of the assistant coaches don't get credit. You got player development. You got everything that goes into it. A lot of these coaches behind the scenes, you don't hear their name mentioned, but some of these coaches in the country really can develop players. As you see Reed dropping the pass off the so along the baseline.
Quinnipiac continuing to maintain their lead. They've led by as many as 12 today. Reyes lost it, trying to catch the pass underneath, then a turnover for the Bobcats, just their third of the game.
And that's why you catch the basketball with two hands. You try to catch it with one hand and had a little contact, couldn't gather it. Just like a wide receiver in football, you got to see it into your hands.
Reed, high post J, silky smooth for Latrell Reed.
And that's one of the underappreciated part of his game. He can shoot the mid-range jump shot. He can shoot the three if you leave him open. But when he's knocking down that shot, he's very, you see it picks up a foul right there. Coach Bashir Mason don't mind them kind of fouls because it's just team being aggressive.
That's the first on Reed, third on St. Peter's. Yeah, St. Peter's, a team that's been at the bottom of the back in terms of fouls. They foul more than anybody else in the conference, but a lot of that because of the style of defense they play. They're going to draw a lot of those aggressive fouls just like that.
What they want to do, they want to make the game ugly. If you're coming to watch a St. Peter game, if you're looking for a show, you're not going to get it. They're going to play some grinded-out basketball.
Tice, poked out of his hands, loose on the ground. And a long time before we get the jump ball call. And it's going to stay with the Bobcats with 14 to shoot.
And how can you not love this kind of play? Watch right here. Watch along the baseline. Good no call by the official. Now, watch the drive right here by Tice. Knocks it off his leg. Now watch everybody go scrambling for the basketball. That's great basketball. It's going to be an exciting tournament down in Atlantic City, the MAAC tournament. If you're looking for some great basketball, you got to get down to Atlantic City to see these schools play in one of the best mid-major conferences in the country.
Balanc. Now Tice looking to drive in on Washington. Tough take, didn't get rim. Peacocks get it. Here comes Reed. All the way to the rim, he's blocked. Reyes from behind.
That's another block right there by Quinnipiac.
And off Balanc's hand, out of bounds.
Bobcats do a great job getting back on defense, blocking the basketball. As we mentioned, Tice and Otino are 4th and 5th in the MAAC and block shots. So when you got two guys that can patrol the lane and really get after it, when they backcourt's made or out on perimeter guys get beat, that's another bonus to have.
Amari Tice. There's Otieno with the steal. Tice, the only player in the MAAC that's top 5 in blocks and steals this year. Otieno averaging over 1 of each per game this year as well as he scores off his own turnover that he generated.
I'll tell you, that left hand is a strong hand. He showed that move in the first half with the crowd dribble. But what he did, Joe, was check for information, made sure the double team did not come and got to the open area.
Reed. And he is fouled by Amari Tice. He's trying to disrupt the shot from behind and got a piece of the arm. Latrell Reed's going to head to the free throw line for a pair when we come back. 15:37 left to play. Bobcats hanging on by 9 at Run Baby Run Arena.
Live sports. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive articles and tools. Top leagues and tournaments. Best stories in sports. On ESPN Plus. Live sports. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive articles and tools. Top leagues and tournaments. Best stories in sports. On ESPN Plus. Live sports. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive articles and tools. Top leagues and tournaments. Best stories in sports. On ESPN Plus. Live sports. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive articles and tools. Top leagues and tournaments. Best stories in sports. On ESPN Plus.
All these two teams trading blows as we start the second half. Quinnipiac still edging out St. Peter's by 9 here in Jersey City. He's Daryl Jacobs. I'm Joe Basile. Defense has really had the upper hand to start this second half. Bobcats 1 of 4, St. Peter's 2 of 6, but free throws coming up as Peacock's trying to get a little closer.
Well, you need those paint touches as C. Reed is able to drop it off the self. And I tell you, he's 4th in the MAAC in assists. The next person in line on leading assists for the Peacocks ain't even averaging 2. So you gotta have to get some more guys to create besides Latrell Reed if you're gonna score the basketball and get those paint touches.
So Reed at the line, he's 1 for 2 from the stripe today, 65% on the season.
Some of the crowd.
Third in the MAAC in assists per game, just under 5 this season. Had that near triple-double last Sunday against Manhattan. Just 1 rebound shy of a triple-double at 17 assists against the Jaspers.
And their first meeting, Corey Washington did not play, which was huge for them not to have him.
And Washington fouled in transition on his way to the bucket by Savion Lewis.
And that's what you want to do, get out in transition. Good deflection right here. And watch. It's a good call by the official.
Now, I'll be interested to see when the all-conference teams come out where Corey Washington ranks. I think he's got to be a first-teamer, just having seen his impact on the Peacocks all year long.
They has the most improved player as well. He's going to get that question down. But definitely he's going to become first conference. I think that's mistakenly something that he deserved and something he will probably get, despite him missing some games in the middle of the year. But he's so valuable to this team. They was on a losing streak until he got his return. And last Thursday was the first game they lost in 4.
St. Peter's with Corey Washington in the conference this year are 12-2. Lewis for 3, rattles it in.
And that's what makes him tough. Not only did he distribute the basketball, but when you got an experienced team like the Bobcats, Joe, it's going to be hard to beat them in the conference tournament, and particularly the NCAA tournament, depending on who they matched up against.
Washington driving. Short, but gets the putback.
And that's something he couldn't do last year. He's much more physical this year. Ward, the smaller defender off, was able to follow his shot.
22 for Corey Washington. Reyes, good ball movement inside. Otieno gets the bucket and 1.
That's a good job by the Bobcats, moving the basketball and being able to finish in traffic inside. Otieno absorbed the contact, was able to finish. A chance for the old-fashioned three-point play.
That puts Quinnipiac back up by 10.
Watch the play right here. Deflection that was picked up by the Bobcats. Great pass right there. Watch the pump fake, and he gets hit twice. Able to finish inside. And you can hear the slaps all the way over here.
Otieno hits the free throw. 13 points from today. He's averaged 10 and 6.5 this year. His second year at Quinnipiac after coming over from Kilgore Community College.
Great JUCO program, one of the tops in the country. As we mentioned, he's second in the MAAC in field goal percentage, shooting 61%. And if he had more attempts, that'll be 20th in the nation.
Michael Hogue gonna try from 3, and he knocks it down. Hogue has not shot a lot of threes this year, but he connects from straight away.
And they needed that three-pointer. I'll tell you, early in the year, he was playing some great basketball. Then he gets hurt, and now he's trying to find his groove. As you see, Peacock's in a 1-3-1.
They find Otieno inside. The pump fake gets them off their feet, and he gets the bucket.
I'll tell you, he's very efficient. As I mentioned, shooting over 60% from the floor, and that's like an automatic bucket if you get it to him inside.
Otieno 7 of 9 from the floor today.
And that's very efficient. He knows where his game stands at. Not only that, he's a good defender.
Here's Hogue looking to attack up the middle.
And that's a paint touch. They're going to have to do that. They're going to have to continue to do that. Touch the paint every time down.
Balanc from 3.
As he turns to his bench, knocking down the NBA three-point shot. Don't leave a shooter. He was able to knock that down.
Bashir Mason calling out the play to the Peacocks. Hogue one-on-one with Otieno. And a foul going against Otieno, who ran over Latrell Reed while he was setting the screen.
And that was probably purposely done. He said, I'll take this foul. I'm going to run you over to let you know we're going to be physical, as you can see. Watch the play right here. Gets into him. Pushes them off a little bit. I can remember when Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol doing the Olympics, and Kobe Bryant ran through Pau Gasol, his teammate, with the Lakers at that particular time, just to send a message.
.11 Bobcat lead. Latrell Reed backing in, spins to the lane, just couldn't finish.
Great move inside, got the paint touch, just couldn't finish.
Bobcats by 11. With 12 minutes left to play, they can smell their first regular season conference championship.
Lowest person wins the bout. That's a good job, I hope, because he was lower with his positioning. He didn't allow Otieno to muscle him down.
Reyes spinning, no! The follow, no! And Washington gets the miss.
This is great end-to-end basketball, the physicality. Let's see what they can get in transition.
Clark to the rim, no! What hustle by Balanc to get the rebound. Into the corner. This is Doug Young.
That's what the Peacocks want to do. Try to get out in transition, get some early bats. That's a good look inside.
Blocked by Balanc.
And I think Washington might have got fouled. Coach is facing and screaming. It seemed like Savion Lewis might have grabbed Corey Washington's arm. We'll see on the replay, but did not get the call.
Timeout on the floor with 11:09 left to play in the second. Quinnipiac 65, St. Peter's 54.
BK Royal Crispy Wraps. Eat it with the meal or have it as a snack. Only $2.99. It's a hunger hack and it fits in one hand. And BK, have it your way.
The Planet Fitness Black Card is packed with perks, not like other gyms.
Hi, can I bring my friend to work out?
No.
Well, is my membership good at other locations?
No.
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 No?
Yeah, no.
No what?
No.
Okay. This is better.
For just $1 down, you can bring a friend for free anytime. Work out at any of our 2,500 plus locations and enjoy access to the Black Card Spa. The Planet Fitness Black Card. Join now for $1 down, $24.99 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, March 15th.
It's always nice to have someone lend a hand. That's why we started Tractor Supply 85 years ago, to help folks with exactly what they need. No matter what you're starting, the team members at Tractor Supply are happy to pitch in. Whether you're mending fences, planting a garden, feeding animals, or finding a new friend. Because that's what neighbors do. They help each other. And together, we all grow. Tractor Supply, for life out here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Players' Championship.
One way or another, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you.
Alexander Volkanovski! I'm the king of this division. Featherweights, you better watch out. On the inside!
Ilya Topuria, an undefeated force who could be destined for greatness.
I'm going to be a legend.
Ilya been running his mouth and I'll show him what's up. I'm going to knock him out.
Well, Quinnipiac asserting its dominance here today. They've led almost wire to wire, 27 minutes worth of the lead for the Bobcats today. They've done so with making timely shots, with playing good defense, and just overall excelling in all phases of the game.
And they've been more consistent on the offensive end. That's really been the difference in the ball game. Their ability to score more efficiently than the Peacocks. 48% for the Bobcats compared to 41% for St. Peter's. Both teams are shooting over 50% from three, Joe. And that's a good sign for both teams going into the conference tournament and this afternoon as we can look at some of the crowd.
Washington up on Otieno, just threw it in. 24 for Corey Washington.
And that's a tough shot over a bigger opponent shot blocker.
Otieno. Make it to Vavers. Balanc off balance, no. Peacocks trying to trim the deficit further. Haven't led since early on in the first. Hogue, the spin move, the hezzy, the bucket, and one.
That's tough right there. Good finish inside. Tell you, he's hitting some big baskets in the second half, attacking the basket mostly inside, but he's able to power through on the contact right there and have a chance for the old-fashioned three-point play. Watch the spin move baseline. Feels the defender, spins off of him, and he powers through, jumps in his chest. That's textbook to negate the shot blocking ability of the Quinnipiac player.
So Michael Hogue, who's got 7 points, all of them in the second half, to the free throw line. Looking to continue what's been a good run of play for him. He had a really nice game on Sunday against Manhattan. Played well against Ryder on Thursday, and now 8 points for Hogue off the bench today.
Let's see what the Bobcats do. See if they try to go inside the Otieno and try to get Walkoff for a shot. Right on cue, goes right inside to Otieno.
And the foul and the bucket for Otieno. He used the pump fake to get Clark off his feet and draw the contact.
I couldn't have said it, partner. Textbook inside. He knows these guys are going to jump on him. But what's more impressive about him, catches the basketball, good hands. Look at the pump fake. And that's what he does really well. Pump fake inside and able to finish. Otieno at the foul line. Well put together athlete, strong body. See Tice checks back in the ball game.
Completes the three-point play again. 16 points for Paul Otieno today.
Very efficient. He's doing a very efficient job scoring the basketball, Joe. He's 8 for 10 from the floor.
Hogue spinning, got the space and the bucket.
Physicality of Hogue, be able to attack the basket. He has a lot of success getting those paint touches, and this is keeping St. Peter's in the game. But St. Peter's has got to get some stops, get some consistent stops. They're going to get themselves a chance to win the game.
Michael Hogue coming alive in the second half, so's the crowd at the Anatelli Center. Babers, travel.
And that's what the Peacocks did in their first meeting. Turned them over 16 times, led to 24 points. But right now, they're losing that category 8-5. Let's see if they can do that on this turnover.
7-point Quinnipiac lead. Peacocks trying to get closer off the turnover. That was just the 5th turnover for Quinnipiac today. Hogue stepping through, no good, but he got fouled.
He's really taking advantage of his mismatches inside, putting it on the deck. And what's impressive, Joe, he's not only finishing inside, but also smart. Watch the move right here. Mule step, definitely gets hacked, and almost had a chance for the old-fashioned three-point play. And what this is doing, Joe, is allowing them to put some points on the board without the clock moving.
First from Hogue is good. 11 points for Michael Hogue in 12 minutes on the floor. That'll play.
That'll play. You keep him in the ball game, Coach Mason. He's the one that's really getting you going. He's been the most consistent in the second half scoring the basketball, and he's keeping you in this ball game.
2 for 2. It's a dozen for Hogue, and it's a 5-point game after Quinnipiac just led by 11. Peacocks pressing off the inbound, but able to get it in.
And that's what the Peacocks going to have to do. They're going to have to eliminate those paint takers. Particularly stop Otieno inside.
Balanc driving off the window. Tough play by Matt Balanc.
And he knows it as well. He gives his team that Superman look, like I'm strong inside. Great tack by Balanc and finish off the window. They needed that basket.
Ziegler's pass to no one. Hogue cutting the other way.
And Hogue thought somebody was on the other side of him, so he didn't even go for the basketball. And I tell you, the Peacocks got within 4 the first half. They were within 5 this half with 9 minutes to go in the ball game. But you don't want to turn the basketball over against a team like the Bobcats.
That's the 10th St. Peter's turnover of the game.
St. Peter's
8 points off turnovers so far for Quinnipiac, as they'll keep it here.
Peacocks in a 2-3 zone. Let's see what the Bobcats does to attack it. 2-3 zone, you want to hit the soft spot in the middle. You want to go with the 2-1-2 set, or you want to try to overload. They go to Tyson's side, and it's going to be Peacocks basketball.
Amari Tice having a rough one today, just 6 points. He's been in a lot of foul trouble. Bobcats by 7. Hogue one-on-one. Mid-range 2. And Matt Balanc has just been everywhere. 18 points. Couple of blocks for Quinnipiac today.
I'll tell you, Hogue, what he want to do is continue to attack the basket. That's what he's been doing well. He can shoot the mid-range, but that's not a strong suit.
There's the mid-range J for Alexis Reyes.
And that's what happens. You don't take advantage of those opportunities against a team like the Bobcats. Reyes knocking it down along the baseline. The lead is back up to 9. They're within 5 with about a minute and a half to go.
Reed with a spin move, triple teamed underneath. Hogue dumps it back off, but a travel will return it over.
Tough call by the official. He's looking for the contact, Joe, and no contact was there, and he stumbled. No call by the official.
72-63, Quinnipiac in front with a timeout on the floor. 7:33 left to go here at Run Baby Run Arena.
At Quinnipiac, we know success doesn't just happen. It takes purpose. one that's fueled with a relentless determination. We are the ambitious, those motivated to propel passions into meaningful professions, those who yearn to be part of a community where everyone is welcome to thrive. Immersive academics, lifelong friendships, world-class athletics. You bring the ambition, together we'll unleash it. Quinnipiac University, ambition unleashed.
In March 2022, St. Peter's University lifted up the world and left it wanting more.
The world needs more peacocks.
We look like the world and feel like home. And our professors are peacocks too. This is hands-on first-person learning. It's an education that's the total package. And we're much more than the sixth sparrow. When peacocks fly, we lift up everybody.
You can be a peacock too.
7:33 left to go in the second half. Quinnipiac leading by 9 and about to have the basketball after the 11th St. Peter's turnover of the game. Bobcats trying to hang on, win the MAAC regular season outright, and they have showed up in a big way today.
No question about it. They weather every storm the Peacocks has given them. But also the Peacocks got within 4 the first half, got within 5 the second half. But after got that close, they turned the basketball over in both halves, getting that close. And subsequently, the Bobcats was able to capitalize on that.
Well, it's a 72-63 lead for Quinnipiac as Bashir Mason knows there's plenty of time in this game, but gotta get at least some kind of run together where when you hold Quinnipiac scoreless for a while to take advantage of it, and St. Peter's hasn't really had that today.
I couldn't have said it better, partner. You seem like you're watching the same game I'm watching.
I should hope so.
But you're spot on with that.
Reyes for 3, rainbows it in.
And between him and Balanc, knocking down some big shots in the second half. Now this lead has ballooned to 12 when it was down to 5. About 2 minutes, 3 minutes ago.
Ziegler driving baseline on Balanc, gets his own tip in.
And that's what you got to do. Continue to attack the basket, but they got to get some stops. They have to get some stops. One of the best defensive teams in the country as far as scoring defense. They're going to have to get some stops here.
The 12-point Quinnipiac lead they just had was tied for their largest of the game. They can reclaim that with a bucket here. Work it into Otieno, and he's going to get called for steps.
Wow, what a great catch. He even come down with that basketball, Joe. Fisher's made the right call there. As I mentioned, the St. Peter's defense, as you look right there, good call by the official. They 11th in the country in scoring defense, St. Peter's.
Looking up at Kelvin Sampson and the Houston Cougars, the best scoring defense in the country. What a job Kelvin Sampson has done this year.
No question about it.
With a bucket, moving up to the Big 12 and not missing a beat.
Not missing a beat at all. That's a credit to one of the best coaches to ever coach, not just college basketball, but basketball, in Kelvin Sampson and the #1 Houston Cougars.
Yeah, what he did with Indiana, his time at Oklahoma before that. Reyes. Balanc with a lane to drive, got bumped in the bucket.
That's a fantastic move. Didn't settle for the three-point shot. Attacked the basket, and those are points in the paint. Once again, the Peacocks has got to keep them out of the lane.
And out of bounds, it's going to be Quinnipiac basketball.
And those are the kind of mistakes you can't have coming to the tail end of the game. It's 5:35 left in the ball game. You got to take care of the basketball. Every possession for you, particularly, Joe, when you're a team that's shooting less than 40% from the floor. Every possession is vital for you.
77-67. Quinnipiac by 10. St. Peter's has kept it close the whole way.
If the Peacock's going to make a run, they got to get some stops here.
Doug Young. Reed with the steal. And one.
That's big time right there. Came up with the steal. One of the most physical guards in the country attacking the basket. Able to finish And a chance for the old-fashioned three-point play. As the crowd gets excited here, watch Latrell Reed get into his man, sails him off with his right hand and shoots it with his left hand. That's a pro move right there, Joe.
Foul on Balanc, his third. No good on the free throw.
In their first meeting, Joe, both teams went to the foul line 30 times, but the Peacocks only made 18 of 30. You're going to have to knock down those free throws, but most importantly, you got to get some stops the next couple of times down the floor.
Tice lost it. Reyes fighting in the corner. It rolls out. Last touch by St. Peter's. Quinnipiac basketball with 5 seconds to shoot.
And expected to get chippy like that out here. As you mentioned, Peacocks was in an all-out tough basketball game against Ryder, and they got a little chippy because of the physicality. Watch the ball here. And that's being juggled around right there. It looks like it might have went off the Bobcats there. But the officials saw it otherwise.
Corner, Savion Lewis going to inbound with Roberts right in front of him. Balanc bumps into Clark, and Roberts blocks the shot.
And that's what you got to do. Patrol one of the top shot blockers in the MAAC, and you're going to need that present as Reed brings it out and Mason calls the play. Got the horn sets going right here. A little action.
Randolph for three. Got it!
That's a big-time shot. That's a well-designed play by Coach Bashir Mason. Getting into a shooter, one of the best in the conference at 40%. That's a big-time shot right there, Joe. The lead is within 5 now.
Timeout taken by St. Peter's. We'll take it with them. 4:26 to go. Quinnipiac 77, Peacocks 72.
BK Royal Crispy Wraps. Eat it with the meal or have it as a snack. Only $2.99. It's a hunger hack and it fits in one hand. And BK, have it your way.
It's so on.
It's always nice to have someone lend a hand. That's why we started Tractor Supply 85 years ago, to help folks with exactly what they need. No matter what you're starting, the team members at Tractor Supply are happy to pitch in. Whether you're mending fences, planting a garden, feeding animals, or finding a new friend. Because that's what neighbors do. They help each other. And together, we all grow. Tractor Supply, for life out here.
The Planet Fitness Black Card is packed with perks, not like other gyms.
Hi, can I bring my friend to work out?
No.
Well, is my membership good at other locations?
No.
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 No?
Yeah, no.
No what?
No.
Hey, this is better.
For just $1 down, you can bring a friend for free anytime. Work out at any of our 2,500 plus locations and enjoy access to the Black Card Spa. The Planet Fitness Black Card. Join now for $1 down, $24.99 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, March 15th.
Live sports. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive articles and tools. Top leagues and tournaments. Best stories in sports. On ESPN Plus.
Well, the St. Peter's Peacocks have this one down to a 5-point Quinnipiac lead thanks to a 9-2 run that in a lot of ways, Darryl Jacobs, was spurred by the play of point guard Latrell Reed.
No question about it. But here's the thing about it. In the first half, bench scoring belongs to Quinnipiac. now is in favor of the Peacocks, 21-16. But the second chance point, Joe, 14-5 in favor of the Peacocks.
Out of the St. Peter's timeout, it's Quinnipiac basketball.
Peacocks have pressured the basketball. This is something they're going to have to do. They got to create more turnovers of the Bobcats.
Not a look that St. Peter's has shown a whole lot of today.
And they go into Otieno.
And a foul called on Stephon Roberts.
Wow, that's a surprising call right there, Joe. As much physicality has been in this game, and they called that foul.
Well, that's number 6 on St. Peter's, so Quinnipiac not in the bonus yet, but they will be on the next common foul.
I thought it was good defense by Roberts.
Balanc, no good. Otieno gets it back, gets tied up. Jump ball, St. Peter's basketball, and another timeout coming up. It's Quinnipiac with a 77-72 lead over St. Peter's with just inside 4 minutes left to play in the regular season. Bobcats looking to close it out and claim an outright championship in the MAAC.
BK Royal Crispy Wraps. Eat it with the meal or have it as a snack. Only $2.99. It's a hunger hack and it fits in one hand. And BK, have it your way.
Roll up to Easter with fast and easy drive up.
What you wanna see? Let's go. Doing this so naturally. Gonna be a fantasy. Easy like 1, 2, 3. Yes, easy like.
Drive up is fast, easy, and always free. Only at Target.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Players' Championship.
One way or another, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you.
Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power, brings you the Select Cut mower. Customize the cut with 3 interchangeable blades. It cuts for over an hour on a single charge. Ego, exclusively at Lowe's, Ace, and Ego authorized dealers.
Live sports. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive articles and tools. Top leagues and tournaments. Best stories in sports. On ESPN Plus.
Well, a 5-point game with 3:59 to go in Jersey City. A lot coming down to the wire on this MAAC Saturday. Alongside Darryl Jacobs, I'm Joe Vasile, and Coach, what do each of these teams have to do to come out with a win today?
For the Peacocks, they got to continue to attack the basket, Joe, and they're going to have to make those free throws. But more importantly, they got to have to defend. For the Bobcats, they got to take care of the basketball. They're going to have to rebound, Joe, and ultimately, if they got the lead, they're going to have to make free throws.
Well, it's St. Peter's basketball. Washington, Reed, Randolph, Clark, and Roberts on the floor for Bashir Mason. Tom Pecora goes with Matt Balanc, Savion Lewis, Alexis Reyes, Mari Tice, and Paul Otieno. Both teams with their starting 5 on the floor for these last 4 minutes.
The Bobcats in a 2-3 zone. Going to have to screen it, look to pop just like that.
Washington, no good on the 3. Amari Tice gets the rebound. Washington hasn't had the long-range shooting touch going today, but still 21 points for him.
Tell you what Coach McCord decided to do. He decided to eliminate those paint touches, Joe, that the Peacocks were getting, attacking the basket. He's going to make them shoot it from the outside. But the Peacocks got to penetrate the zone.
Tice and one. Boy, Amari Tice has been quiet today. but a big three-point play opportunity for the Bobcats. And a chance to go back up by 8.
Hey, that's a big play right there. Got the paint touch, as I've mentioned. Peacock's going to have to defend. This is a nice pass right there. Able to jump it off, and as you saw the concentration, kept his eye on the rim. Any young players that are looking, he absorbed the contact, kept his eye on the rim, was able to finish. That's a big basket, and it stops the bleeding a little bit.
So Tice, 79% from the line this year, 4 of 4 today, making 5 of 5 for Tice, who's got 9 points. 80-72, Quinny in front.
And in a 2-3 matchup zone. They're not going to let the Peacocks try to penetrate the gaps, but they're going to have to try to get in there. They have to try to penetrate. It's a kamikaze defense a little bit.
Randolph, corner 3, no good. Reyes gets the rebound.
And that's Coach Pecor's strategy. Let's go 2-3 zone, not allow them to get their paint touches. With the Peacocks was very effective.
Well, it's coming down to the wire up in Poughkeepsie. Marist with a 61-60 lead over Niagara with 28 seconds to go at McCann Arena in a game that'll decide a lot of seeding, especially combined with this one.
That game has a lot of implication for the Peacocks.
Tice, what a shot by Amari Tice!
And that might have been the dagger right there. Remember that shot? That's a big-time shot. And again, Coach Pecor in a 2-3 zone matchup, 3-2. Got to look to attack in the high post area. There you go. Reed is getting in there. And that's what you got to do. Put some points on the board without the clock moving.
He gets fouled by Matt Balanc. Boy, this has been a really strong run for Quinnipiac out of the timeout. They've been so good in those ATOs, those after timeout situations today, going on these little 5-0, 6-0 runs that have helped them maintain this lead.
I tell you what's very effective. You see Tice knocking down what might have been the dagger. Remember that shot right there. But what Coach Tom Pecor did after that timeout, Joe, was go 2-3 zone, 3-2 matchup zone, amoeba defense, following Corey Washington around. And during that time, the Peacocks did not score a basket, where when the Bobcats were man-to-man, they were constantly attacking the paint, getting easy shots, finishing at the rim. That's a good job by Coach Pecor coming after that timeout to go to that zone.
1 of 2 for Reed. Matt Balanc. Oh, what a move in midair by Balanc.
That might be a dun-a-dun move right there.
And some extracurriculars at the end of this one.
The physicality of the game. Of course, you got to get a little chippy here. And that's a great move by Balanc, finishing at the rim.
Washington's going to go to the line after the foul on Amari Tice. That's his 4th. 9 on Quinnipiac.
Ziegler checks back in the ball game. Try to give him some offense off the bounce. And also gets to the offensive glass, as we mentioned. Peacocks are first in offensive rebound, 32nd in the nation.
Washington's first is good. St. Peter's has not helped itself out a ton for the free throw line today. And Washington misses the second.
As I mentioned, they missed 12 of 30 in their first matchup, which was the difference in the ball game.
Reed with the swipe. Off to the races. Randolph the follow. And Tice comes up with it and is fouled.
It's the bunny inside. What a golden opportunity for the Peacocks to score the basketball. And they just didn't finish it right there. Now you're going to put Tice on the line.
By the way, as we're doing all of this, there is a ton of suspense right now at McCann Arena. Niagara hit a buzzer-beating 3 to beat Marist, but the play has been under a replay review for Well, about 2 minutes now to see if the shot's going to stand. If Niagara wins, the winner of that game gets a first-round bye, and the loser drops down into the 6th seed in the tournament.
And they're going to spend a lot of more time looking at that replay.
Tice hits his first free throw.
Maris and Niagara, they may take another 5 minutes to get that right, Joe, because that's an all-important game. And as you mentioned, one team could go as high as 3, the other team can drop to 6.
It doesn't look like the shot's out of his hand. We have the stream up right now. I don't think it's going to stand for Niagara, but we'll see. They're looking at it from every angle. Anyway, Quinnipiac's up 13 all of a sudden with a minute and a half left to go. If Marist ends up winning that game and Quinnipiac wins, Marist would move up to the 3 spot. Reed in and out on the 3, and it'll be out of bounds for Quinnipiac basketball, and St. Peter's would drop down to the 5. And in that case, that means a date in the 4-5 game with Ryder for St. Peter's, a team that, having lost twice to them in the regular season, you know they want to avoid.
Well, you want to avoid any team that you lost to twice. But then, Joe, I've been in that situation as a coach in championship games, playing the team for the 3rd time. It was a charm for me.
Especially coming off that emotional game just a couple days ago, and those two teams have to go at it in the quarterfinals in a couple of days down in Atlantic City. Boy, that's going to be a must-watch basketball.
And I'm sure Coach Baggett wanted to try to avoid the Peacocks, as you can see. And that might have been the dagger right there by Reyes.
Either way, they have overturned it. The shot is no good, and so Marist has beaten Niagara. Lewis dumped off, got it back off a deflection.
And he'll hold it out right now. I don't think the Peacocks will foul here.
Well, what a season it's been for the Quinnipiac Bobcats. They're going to finish the regular season up 23-8, 15-5 in the MAAC. And in the first year under Tom Pecora as head coach, the Quinnipiac Bobcats are going to be the outright champions of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. What a special year up in Hamden for this team.
No question about it. It speaks volumes for Coach Pecora, one of the best coaches in the country. And he's taken the opportunity he's gotten to become the head coach of this program.
He won the CAA regular season 3 times as the head coach at Hofstra, had a challenging 5-year tenure at Fordham, and redemption for Tom Pecora.